in their face, let them know I'ma do that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know that. Shut them haters up, you know we go so hard. Chopper hit up in they face, yeah, I'm a bulldog. Number one is what we holding, number one is what we stand. When you step out on that field, let them know you ain't playing. Step back in that pocket, launch it off like a rocket. Pass the pill, run the ball, either way they ain't gon' stop it. Bring that trophy back and let them know that CH got it locked up from the east to west, north to the south, and they can't top it. That defense they holding, that O-line be blocking. Check your Facebook, them Bulldogs, they tryna top it. Them corners on they job, they receivers, they gon' lock it. And don't try and punt the ball because that D-line gon' block it. They know we coming hard, they know we coming strong. Let them haters do they talking, Chopper here deserves the throne. Yeah, we sit at number one, they know we can't be cloned. Now it's time to handle business, go and bring that title on. Work, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know that. This shit is our year, so we gon' shut it down and handle that and let them haters know another L. Say we not hearing that. Blue and gold, I be wearing that. Them other teams, we not fearing that. That competition ain't nothing. Bulldog country boy, we gon' bring it back. This shit is our year, so we gon' shut it down and handle that and let them haters know another L. Say we not hearing that. Blue and gold, I be wearing that. Them other teams, we not fearing that. That competition ain't nothing. Bulldog country boy, we gon' bring it back. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know that I'm bulldog. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. Bulldog.
Man, they do it big. Other teams talk big, but that's nothing. Chapel Hill state champs, I see it coming. In my town, when they see it, they gon' hate this. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. They hit the field and shut it down so crazy. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. Pass the rock, run the ball. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. Them lines look like kittens, I'm thinking who are y'all? Beat them so bad that they thinking there's 22 of y'all. Leaving their minds blown, about to bring the crown home. Other teams wishing that they could beat them, but they can't clone. They trying to act like they don't know. You see that blue and gold, 55, 45, 35, man, that boy's gone. Reppin' this section, we reckless down here in CH, Texas, state champion 2010, I claim that thing already. Now you can say we ain't the dookie, but I know you smell it. Go ahead and bring that thing home, make them kittens feel it. You know what it is. Every time they hit the field, man, they do it big. Other teams talk big, but that's nothing. Chapel Hill state champs, I see it coming. In my town, when they see it, they gon' hate this. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. They hit hit the field and shut it down so crazy. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. As far as I'm concerned, it ain't no competition. So shut them out and bring that title home that we've been missing. Been 21 years since we had this type of victory. Shouts to class of 89, it's time to make history. What's up, Chapel Hill? We got them haters watching, but we done came too far, so man, it ain't no stopping. No loss, straight victory's the only option. Man, it feels good to be the Bulldog. What's poppin'? You know what it is. Every time they hit the field, man, they do it big. Other teams talk big, but that's nothing. Chapel Hill state champs, I see it coming. Look at my town, when they see it, they gon' hate this. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. They hit the field and shut it down so crazy. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. You know what it is. Every time they hit the field, man, they do it big. Other teams talk big, but that's nothing. Chapel Hill state champs, I see it coming. Look at my town, when they see it, they gon' hate this. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. They hit the field and shut it down so crazy. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow.
Hello, Bulldog Sports Network. I'm Brett Swinney. Joining me tonight, we have Mr. Corey Marshall. Welcome, Corey.
What's happening?
And Mr. Vincent Johnson.
What's up?
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, Vince?
Well, should we bring in our special guest?
Too soon, right? No, I was playing.
Let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead and get him on. Just a preface, you will recognize this name if you are a Bulldog Sports Network follower. He is the newest member of our team. He's going to be doing all kinds of stuff for us, but look for his stuff out there on our network and our platform. He is Mr. Jared Jones. Jared, welcome.
What's going on, Jared?
What's up?
So for those of you that don't know, Jared was a part of the basketball team last year. We covered them all season long here on the Bulldog Sports Network. We got to interview him a few times. Now he's wanting to kind of go in the journalism area, so he's going to be working with us, trying to do some things on his own. He's got a couple of things that he's been working on. Jared, I'll let you go ahead and share the stuff you've been working on with our listeners.
Chapel Hill get the recognition that it really deserves. You going through the years, you don't really see people like person, like you said earlier, broadcast opportunity.
Oh, we're having some audio problems with Jared here. Hey, Jared, are you hold on. Got to bring him back in. Jared, we kind of lost you there, and your audio was kind of choppy. You mind starting over for us?
Can you hear me? We good?
Yeah, we lost you. Go ahead and start over. We kind of heard a little bit, but we couldn't hear you very well.
Yeah, we got country internet, so you might know the struggle.
That's okay.
Of course, like I said earlier, it's a blessing to have you guys on. Well, for you guys to have me on, I really appreciate the opportunity. As you said earlier, I want to get into the broadcasting and journalism field, so opportunity like this is appreciated. I look forward to either working the scoreboard for you guys, doing a little commentary, doing stats, working the scoreboard, really anything I can get my hands into. And really outside of this, I've been working with KTBB, the local news and sports radio, doing production for them, recording voiceovers. So anything that's really just building my skills and helping me perfect my craft is always something that I'm open to.
I'll let you break the news on something that you're going to be starting to work on for us. Jared, go ahead and tell them a little bit about what to expect before games going forward.
Yeah, of course. Even though we might not have I guess you could any other big networks, but from here on out, whether that be for football and basketball, watch our product can now see a pregame show every week, really just anyone, and give you a preview into what to expect on the course. You're going to have fantastic play on the field. So we expect to bring that same thing to you guys.
Well, that's awesome. Vince or Corey, you got anything for Jared?
I'm gonna say this. I'm jealous because I didn't have this type of deal back in high school or outside of high school. So I'm just gonna be a hater. But this is a opportunity, Jared, and I'm hoping all of it. No, everybody's watching. I'm not being a hater or anything. I'm happy. It's a good opportunity for you, especially getting in the field and
Yeah,
what you love. And
yeah,
this is a good opportunity, man. I'm glad we have this platform, especially for you to go into because Brett didn't have to do that. And this is fun for me. Obviously, I may be 20 years past that prime, but this is still fun for me to do. And I mean, this is all fun way. But happy for you, man. Hope everything's gonna work out for you.
yeah, man. Hope everything works out for you, and welcome to the team.
Thank you. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely, we gotta
Yeah,
have some kind of initiation later on, some kind of way.
Yeah, we've learned already. Vince, you weren't here. We talked before air, and we have our first Texas hater in the group. So we're gonna have to give Jared a hard time here. He would give us a hard time on our TCU pick. I think he didn't like our Texas sweep pick that we had last week. So we'll have to give him a hard time on that one. So yeah, I'm glad Jared's joined us. I know we kind of talked about it last year a little bit with him, and he reached out to me and was interested in doing some things, and I was like, I can give you all the experience you want, so you're welcome to do whatever you'd like to do, as far as anything that can help you get to where you're going. So we're excited to have Jared with us. He'll add a different perspective of someone that's a little bit more recently out of high school than the other three of us. I won't throw anybody under the bus because I'm the farthest away from the high school, but it should be fun. I don't know about you guys. It's been a rough week for me. I'm barely here today. I mean,
Myself.
I've been sick all week.
Me too.
If this show would have been yesterday, I'd have had to been like, Corey, you're going to have to take this, or Vince, one of y'all, because
I didn't even go to the game. I had to quarantine.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was at the quarantine.
I did not have to quarantine. No COVID test. Or I did take a COVID test, but no COVID. I slept for a couple of days. Just slept. That's all I did. I was not feeling good at all. I finally get to go back to work tomorrow. Thank goodness, because I've been stir crazy after I wasn't sleeping all day. Just kind of to sit here and not do anything. It's kind of
I haven't been to work. Actually, tomorrow will be my first day back.
Yeah, me too. So
I had to take 3 COVID tests, all negative, but
yeah, me too. Well, that's good to hear. So you actually then had to tune in and watch the game Friday night then.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I was
okay.
Like I said, they told me I needed to quarantine until I got some results back.
All right, we got some chats here early. Here we've got Hector. Yeah, we hadn't really talked about that, but there is Corey's one step closer to his 8-2 pick there.
See, Hector's trying to play because he picked TCU over Texas. I know what this is all about. It's all right. I know. I'm ahead of the game.
Man.
I'm ahead of the game.
You already know. Well, speaking of that, make sure you get your chats in. Hector's already chatting with us. Anybody out there on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, get your chats in. We're on all the platforms, so make sure you go out there and like us. I guess the first thing we'll do is talk about how terrible the picks were this week. I mean, I know the Chapel Hill game. We'll get there here in a minute, but just overall, 4-4 was the top record, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, out of 8 people, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 people. What everybody was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-4s, and then Vince was 3-5, and then so But there's a bright spot in all of this. There's a bright spot. I did pick Argyle to lose. Melissa beat Argyle. I told you it was. I told you it was coming. No one believed me. That's coming. I knew. I knew it.
Yeah.
My barely win theory is still unproven. Right. Not unproven.
Yeah.
It's proven.
Well, that was a good pick. I have to give it to you. Do you know that the Snap regular season game win streak was a 60-game regular season win streak snapped in that game? I mean, you're talking about that's 6 years, at least 6+ years. So it was in Melissa, so it wasn't at home in Argyle. The one didn't snap their home win streak, but man, talk about a streak snapped. I mean, that was a good pick. I mean,
He pick them to lose every week. It's not the same thing.
But I mean,
I guess eventually you have to.
You pick them to lose every week.
but here's how you got to look at it though. You can't. They almost got beat by La Vega, and so blowing people out. So eventually, every week, the score was getting closer and closer and closer. And then that Salina win was
I
real
look
close.
at it.
I'm like, you're not gonna keep
Pick
getting.
them to lose every week, and then you finally landed on.
It was. I told you it was coming. It was coming. That's what I said. It was coming. It was gonna happen eventually.
I can say that about anybody. I can say that about anybody.
Now when you won 60 games in a row, you can't say that about that team. You're probably gonna win another 10.
Yes, you can. You can do that about anybody.
So let's just recap here, guys. Let's just recap, okay? After last week's picks, Vince, you're now last, 21-11. Corey is 22-10, and I'm still up top at 26-6. Now, I just got more losses this past week than twice as many as I had all year. That was a rough week all around. It's just, I think it was, I don't know which ones that y'all missed, but the ones I was just surprised by was the Maybank game, the ARP game, which, I mean, ARP's evidently they're doing a lot better now. They've got a game this week against West Rust that'll be.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah. And Hector says, I made the Maybank pick.
Yes.
So,
yes, but you also made the TCU pick.
He hadn't said anything about that game. We will mention that, Hector.
I know.
Don't worry. We will get there. But yeah, I think, it's I just didn't see those. Now the Argyle one, I think that's, we'll just throw that up to fluky, they just didn't have a good week. I mean, obviously you play that well over a time frame, you're not gonna have a good week somewhere. So
it was a bad week of football overall, to be honest with you.
And then of course the Chapel Hill one, none of us picked them to lose, so that's automatic. That's an automatic one there. So I mean, if you look at it that way, we all picked Troop. We all picked Chapel Hill, and most of us picked Maybank. I mean, Palestine. Mm-hmm. There was a few that didn't, but that's mainly where you saw the losses. So, I mean, Kilgore took care of business like we thought they would. Oh, they were off. Henderson took care of business.
Yeah, Henderson beat. Yeah, Henderson beat. Henderson beat Athens. Marshall beat Jacksonville.
We got Jared's mom on here. Shout out to Miss Ward. Thanks us for giving the opportunity. She's proud. Well, you should be. It's a good kid. We're glad to have him on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jared, you still there? You can talk.
I think he's gone.
I think he exited. I don't know if he exited out.
He bounced.
Oh, wait.
It's the internet again.
There you go.
Government cheese. So
there he is. There he is. Jared, you there?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can now. We had you. I guess you dropped off.
Yeah, there we go.
It took you off the connection. So your mom tuned in there and is talking here good about you. So I'm glad she's on tonight. So
Well,
Did you get to?
the
Were you
internet's a
listening? Were you listening?
little choppy.
Were you listening to any?
So,
Yeah, were you listening to anything that we were talking about?
oh yeah,
Did you hear
definitely.
us?
First off, let's go in and get this TCU Texas thing out of the way. Um, uh, I am a TCU fan. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Every once in a while, every dog has its day. And this year it just happened to be our day. I can't be upset. I guess after Texas being TCU's doormat for so long, I guess the roles had to reverse at some point though, right?
Mm, mm,
You
mm.
know,
He came to the plate. I mean, he came badly. You hear me?
Did
Oh.
TCU win a Big 12 championship or a national championship that I missed?
Yes, we did. We won a Big 12 championship in 2014. Although it was shared with Baylor, it's still a
it
national
was
championship
shared.
nonetheless.
Oh, that
That
don't
wasn't.
count.
That wasn't.
When is the
that
last
wasn't a
time
championship.
Texas? When did
Championships
Texas?
around
When was the
here.
last time Texas won a not a national championship, a Big 12 championship?
2009, probably.
Probably
Unless
2000.
I
there's
was
one
in
before.
what? Was I in elementary school? Was I at Kissam or Wise? Either one of those.
But I'm trying to remember the last time TCU actually like played for a goal that mattered.
Wasn't they win the
Was a
Mountain
national
West?
championship wise?
Mountain West.
Back
Were
when
they
we
in
were in the
Mountain West?
Mountain West, back when we got screwed out of that Fiesta Bowl fiasco with Boise State, ever since then, I don't know what it is. The college football guys have just not been in our favor. The closest we came was probably our best success postseason wise since then was Oregon in that Alamo Bowl game where we were down by 35 and came back, either 35 or 28. It was something ridiculous. And ever since then, it's just been downhill.
Well,
You know
I
that
hate to
reminds
steer
me.
this
Kind of
ship.
reminds me of like, like the little brother always gets a chance to hit the big brother every once in a while. Got you one. That's kind of how that feels. It's like, what? I beat you every single time, but I got you that one time. All right, yeah, you got it.
That one time.
All right, that one
One
time.
time.
Okay, I got you.
But it wasn't the last
You'll
time.
be able to shine. That's okay. No, it wasn't the
It
last
wasn't the
time.
last time.
Well,
It
I
wasn't
hate
the
to steer this. I hate to steer this ship, but we need to get on a little on track. Okay, I know we steered off, and we've talked about it because we'll have another whole discussion about the next Texas game, I'm sure. But let's talk about Friday night and what we saw on Friday night. And Jared, we kind of first thing we usually do when we talk about the game is we go around and like use one word to describe what we saw Friday night. And we'll since you're new for us, we'll let you start. So what's one word that you saw Friday to describe the game?
One word. Personally, I'm just going to have to say green. The reason why I describe this game as green is because, number one, of course, as we saw during the preseason, we have a fantastic team, great potential on both sides of the ball, talent all around the field. But at the same time, this is still a young, developing team. And it's going to take a while for us to reach that potential. But like I said earlier, there is definitely promise. We definitely have a chance to run the table in this district. Of course, you have Kilgore, a top-ranked team in the state, so of course they're going to be tough for us. But with this team, I feel like we can do great things. But again, we're still young, we're still green, and that's my one word to describe it.
Okay, green.
Okay.
All right, I like that. All right, who's next? Corey, Vince. Which one?
Humbling, I would say.
Humbling. I like that
Humbling.
word.
You know, it for the last couple of weeks, I've been saying, make sure you keep a level head. I know we winning. I know we doing big things. But you got to make sure you come out there and execute. You got to make sure you handle business. And I think this whooping was a little humbling to all of us, to everybody. Not just the players, the coaches, the fans, all of us.
Yeah, I like that one. Jared, you got a shout out from Coach Blevins there. Glad to hear you on the show. So he's one of our
Love you, Coach Blevins.
listeners. He's one of our loyal listeners.
I'm gonna
All right,
say
Corey, you're
over. I'm gonna say over. Is you lost one game, get over it. It's not the end of the season. It's right at the peak of the season. It's right in things. District play. You lost. Get over it. Hey, go back next week. Build from it. Close it. I always like to use this. Close the book. Put it on the shelf. Read the book. You already read it before. You know what happened to tape. Hey, let's move on to next week. Had a bad game. You're 5-1. Not a bad record. Keep it moving. You got. There's more to the story than just that one game. Get over that one. Move past it. You play bad. Regain your confidence next week and keep moving.
Yeah, you kind of touched on the word I'm going to use, and the word I'm going to use is film. They need to watch a lot of film on this game because Lindale was prepared.
Yeah.
When we talked about this on air, Logan and I did. It seems like Lindale has our number, and I don't know if it's that they've just got the team they have just as a tough matchup for us or what it is, but like it seems like when we match up, no matter how well we're rolling, Lindale has a way to contain us.
It's the big brother, little brother syndrome, man. It's that same stuff that we used to go through at White House. No matter how good we were, we played White House, they always had our number, and it's kind of the same thing. Honestly, as I was watching this Lindale game, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, man, this feels like a White House game. Nothing's going right. Everything is falling in their favor. I text Corey. I think I text both of y'all when I was saying that, you win the battle up front and it's over. That's the game. That's the game right there. Like sometimes I think that people, I know the coaches know this. I think sometimes like fans or even some of the players don't realize like if you don't win that battle up front, you're more likely to lose almost every time. That's where the game is going right there, up front, offense and defense.
Yeah, up front. That up front was they destroyed us. Their defensively, the front seven, and I mentioned this on air a lot. But defensively, the front seven of Lindale did whatever they wanted. They had Tyler Jones so confused, and he's the main one and it's not his fault alone. His guys weren't blocking for him either. But he's gonna have to go back on film and see what Lindale did to him that caused him so many problems. He's gonna have to quit that spinning around little stuff to turn his back to the ball. He's gonna have to quit that stuff. I know it worked for him in the beginning. It showed why you can't do that because he kept spinning and he just got hammered. And there was a couple.
One thing I definitely want to make sure I say, and I realized this about halfway through the game. I said this about the Athens game, and I didn't even think about this one. But you don't always have to go for the big play. You don't always have to go for the home run. And whenever we was passing the ball, they're looking to go throw it downfield, 20 so yards or whatever. And I think that was hurting us a lot because you don't have that kind of time. Obviously, as you can see, they're sending. I even watched part of the game again today just to try to get a grasp on what I was watching as far as how their defense was playing. And it seemed like they were running like pretty much a delayed blitz the whole night. And it worked. And I started thinking like, well, we're going to have to figure that out because they just gave everybody else a blueprint on how to cover those receivers. You just make sure that you get in the backfield and you got to worry about covering them. Because at one time we beat them deep, they never let it happen again.
Yeah, because if you can't get it to those receivers, then they can't make a play.
Yeah, and so, they made sure after they got beat that first time, they didn't get beat. They didn't get beat again. They made sure they got back there. And
I like Phyllis's comment here too. Vince kind of goes right along with it. They studied Chapel Hill and was ready. It's exactly right.
Yeah,
they did.
One thing you got analogy. Every boxer has a minute until he gets punched in the mouth. Everything works perfectly. Oh, we're gonna do this, and now all of a sudden everything changes. We're so used to getting ahead, airing it out, and you play that one team, and next thing you know, everything. Oh, well, they shut this down. How we gonna do this? Now we got to counter. Like I said, I'm more of like this. I tell the guys, man, it's okay. You kind of use a sandwich. and listen, and we got beat. They bested us, they beat us, we got to go back to not back to the drawing board. We got to get back to some things. Beating teams pretty easily by what we're doing in the beginning, and this teams were scouting us. It's okay.
Mhm.
They're gonna scout us. We know exactly what happened. It's okay. We have to sure up things that we're sure of. We got to sure up things that we know. Let's get back to running the football. Football in the second half, it was doing pretty well, but we were already down.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we couldn't get any stops on the defensive end, which was hurting us. We couldn't get any stops on the defensive end. Eventually, we had the game in the grasp where we were kind of making the plays. Cool. We couldn't get any stops on the defensive end. That's the other part that was
We
hurting
we
us. But
we made some stops. The problem was we didn't capitalize off of those stops. It was going to be a tough game, and the stops we did make, we were supposed to capitalize off.
Yeah, the stops I think that we did make, which I thought the defense overall. I can't blame the defense really.
no,
The defense played well. That game could have been so bad early, but those two field goals that the defense held to kept them in the game in the first half.
Because wasn't it like 20-something to 0?
Well, it was. We started off. Lindale got off to scored first. Then they did that little field goal 2-point try. They scored that, and then we threw backwards into the end zone. And it was 10-0.
In the second quarter, I still got it froze right here. In the second quarter, it's 22-7.
Yeah, because they gave up 2 field goals, and then they missed. I think they missed a try or something.
And we did have a bad call where it called back. I don't know if he scored or if he got to like the 1 yard. I can't even remember, but they called it back for something that wasn't even. To me, it didn't look legit. So. There was that, but again, you can't count on the refs to win a game for you. You got to come out and play. To me, as I'm watching, I started to just think if I don't have that kind of time, what I look to do is throw a lot of short passes, because again they were sending a delayed blitz. They were hiding their linebacker behind their tackle pretty much. He wait for a second, which means that and they had them all sitting up front, so they're not worried about coverage. And you got to do that 6'6" who you didn't really throw to. I would have had him in slant routes. I'd have just have him just 5-yard slant, bam, every time. I would have just went for something like that. I would have kept running they tried to screen a couple of times. I would have kept running that. There was. I can't remember the defensive end's name that literally was on every single play. He disturbed every single play. But at one point, they started running away from him. Huh?
That was Weidman, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
You know whose son that is?
No.
That's Candace Knight Weidman that we went to school with.
Candace Knight.
I ran into her before the game.
I heard you say that on the show, but I was like, I was like, oh no.
So here's a funny story that I got from this weekend. I actually ran into little Kissam at the Highlighter Mini Clinic. Her daughter and my daughter were in the little clinic. They're the same age, and he actually made a wager with Candace. So now he's got to wear a Lindale jersey in a picture because they wagered the winner would have to wear the other team's colors or something. So shout out to Will. Sorry about that. Well, that was a rough one, but her son played an amazing game. I mean, he was all over the place.
And what I would have done I saw what they were trying to do. They trying to run the plays away from him, but he was so good and fast. When you don't block him, he will make the play. He will get to the play, even though it's going away from him. I would have just thought after a couple of times, I was like, you know what? Let's just run it to his side. Let's actually run the play to him and double down on him instead of letting him go free and run away from him, because he's chasing our tailback in the backfield and he's literally so fast and reacting so quick that he's making the play at the line of scrimmage. I would have just went to him at that point.
Yeah.
That whole defense was good. There was like three guys in the backfield almost every play. And the
Teachable
defensive end on the other
moment.
side, the linebacker that kept coming through. That was just some
Well,
things that
Vince,
as I'm watching, I'm like, this is what I would have probably tried to do. You got to
well,
start playing situational football.
Chris, you see Chris' post there?
What do you say?
Vince, they played him the same way as they played last year against Cam Ford. They smothered him just the same way. So I mean, that's definitely. I mean, I would have to go back and look at the film, but I trust Chris's
Yeah, I
football
didn't.
knowledge. I'm sure he probably knows that, that they, and it doesn't look the same. I mean, same result. He also said short passes down the field, 5 or 10-yard passes would have made Lindell adjust.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. It would have made them back up a little bit,
Made
because again,
Lindell
they
drop
were
those
still in that
guys on the
delayed blitz,
rushing.
man, and I was like, it's right there. If you just go with that 5-yard slant, man, it's there. It's gonna be there.
Hey, Jared, you still with us?
I think he
Yeah, I should be better now.
Oh, there he
you
is.
down here? Okay. Hey, I know you got some stats from last week's game. Go ahead and shoot some stats. We may not want to hear them; they'll be kind of ugly, but go ahead and shoot some stats our way if you got those while we're talking about this game.
Starting on the Chapel Hill side, these are from actually shout out to Phil Hicks from Tyler Moreland Telegraph. He double checked them for me. Tyler Jones, he went 7 for 16, had 117 yards total with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Our rushing leader, Kevin Brooks, running back, 3 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. And our receiving leader was Tyson Berry with 5 receptions for 102 yards and a touchdown.
Now,
on the defensive side of the ball, I feel right. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, Brad Dyer pretty much carried us tackling wise. He was one of the consistent guys that you saw coming around the edge, making almost every single tackle for us, and every single play he was somewhere close to the ball. It's been a while since I've seen someone with the knack for the football like that.
What?
Yeah, we have a name. We have a name for Brock Dyer here, Jared. It's called the vacuum.
The vacuum.
Call him here on this show.
We call him the vacuum. He is on every play.
I think that's
every single play.
Every single play.
Mr. Who?
But he don't want to play ball nowhere. I'm like, man, give me that talent.
Come on, man.
Oh man.
Do we even want to talk about the Lindell stats? Do we want to talk about those?
Yeah, we don't want to, but it's part of the show. We'll go ahead and talk
about
it. Because, I mean,
we'll give them they do. They did what they did what
they played. Yeah, they played well. I mean, it's.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing you're giving them is they played well. I don't want to talk about it.
That's it. That's all. For the quarterback, Sam Peterson, he was pretty much a Swiss Army knife, throwing and running the football. Passing wise, he went 8 for 12, 103 yards and a touchdown. And rushing, this baffled me when I typed it out. I didn't think it was correct. I had to call Phil again. 126 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown.
Yep.
It doesn't surprise me. I think I said on air he had 100 yards rushing. And what he did well is he knew what he can do. And what he can do is follow those big guys up front. And he just kind of followed the play. He pulled the ball when he needed to. He was smart.
When he needed to.
He pulled it
one big run.
And he didn't really nothing fancy. Just pulled it, ran off tackle right behind his blockers, and just would get 10, 15 yards when they needed it.
Yeah, just straightforward running. No dancing, no nothing. He just went straight forward.
Mm-hmm. So simple game plan, right? Simple game plan. We'll keep them from scoring, and then we'll get the ball back. We'll control the clock. We'll run the football. That's what we do.
If you saw how they played against Van, they played them the exact same way.
I'm not gonna let you have the ball back. If I can control the clock, why would I let you have the ball back? You can score as fast as we can score. As fast if we have
I think that.
Why would I get the ball back? No, run the ball. Of course, he's gonna have 100 yards on the ground. If I would have 200 yards on the ground, no, we're not giving them the ball back. Forget that.
I think that they played a good game, and I think they kind of gave the rest of the district a book on how to beat us. And some of those teams I wouldn't be concerned about, but Kilgore makes me concerned. Because if Kilgore got the athletes, if anybody had the athletes to do it again to us, it'd be Kilgore, in my opinion. But that don't mean go sleep on Palestine, though. I don't,
no, we can't because Palestine's 0-2. we sure can't go to sleep on Palestine right now.
Oh, God.
We lose to Palestine. We've now tied them, and now they've got a tiebreaker. So you put yourself in a bad spot. This is a must.
We
This is
cannot
a
lose that.
must win.
This
One
is how
thing
you
I've
got to.
learned
This is
about-
how I would approach it. What were you saying now, Jared? I'm sorry.
One thing I've learned about just watching football through all my years of high school and playing basketball against pretty much the same guys, everybody in this district and in this area has the athletes. That's not the problem. It's just how coaches and coordinators utilize them that's going to be the struggle on winning and losing. In football and basketball and really just any sport, all these teams are going to have athletes. They're going to have a 6'5" receiver on the outside that has a ridiculous vertical. They're going to have a power back, and they're going to have a running back that's shifty. They're always going to have the athletes. And I feel like Lindale, even in basketball, playing against them too many times to count, I've learned that Lindale, yeah, they're going to have the athletes, but they're going to play that fundamental smash mouth type ball on both sides of the ball. And I feel like that's really how they kind of gained the edge against us. They kind of played our own game, I guess you can say. They had the athletes, but at the same time, they played a more fundamental game.
And they played smarter. They didn't have near as many penalties as we did. Now, I don't know whether or not the penalties were – I've heard people, the penalties were unfair. I don't know. From where I was sitting, I saw a lot of penalties that Chapel Hill made. Whether or not all
Lindale
of them
had
were right.
one penalty. Chapel Hill had 7.
Yeah, and it seemed like more than that, to be honest with you.
It seemed like more.
Just from sitting
It
up there.
seemed like that because every time we made a movement forward, it was a penalty involved, and
Yeah,
that's why it
big
seemed
play.
like more than that.
I think the yardage that we've lost this year over penalties, counting the yards at the actual play, I don't know. I think Deuce has lost 6 or 7 touchdowns this year on penalties. At
Man.
least just for him
Pretty
himself.
Good
Every time
Lord.
he makes a big play, I think
Every time, man. Every time.
And that's got to be sheared up.
But-
You can't be playing a good team like Lindale and have that many mistakes, and then they don't make mistakes and expect to win the game. I mean, you just don't. You've got to have those kind of things sheared up, and that's something that we're definitely gonna have to work on.
And I want to hit on this too about it because, and like Jared said about basketball and football, you play so many games within a week. Quick turnaround, especially in the turn bad game's over, get ready for the next. Quick turnaround, use your strategy, go in
Right.
and play. Basketball's pretty quick because you change your strategy, pretty much on the fly. For a timeout, you change the strategy. We're going zone, we're going man, we're switching, we're doing different play. You change it pretty much on the fly. Football, you have an entire week to prepare for another team, and you go through several different scenarios. And then that game from the previous week can linger, especially on a young football team. That's why my key word was over. Don't let that Lindale game linger. Don't let that loss linger. Don't look at the stats. Don't look at
No, don't let
the
it linger.
rankings. Don't let that game linger in that. Just, hey, we're moving forward. We're moving forward with
You
this.
just gotta learn from
I'm
it.
not-
That's all. You just gotta learn from it.
Yeah,
Study
it's
as
like
much
this-
film as you can.
This is a teachable. Like, listen, guys, we played a bad game. We're not state champ. We haven't got it that far. We haven't made it that far. Don't listen to the tabloids. Don't even know if you're watching the show. Don't pay attention. You do. You focus and put everything in your head in the tunnel, and you move forward. Use Lindale. Lindale's not a bad football team. They returned a lot of guys. You lost against a very good football team. Their preseason schedule was pretty good. We already touched on that. So they played some pretty good teams. You lost against a very good football team. They're not. So move forward, learn from your mistakes, shorten up the penalties, pay attention. Like I said, this championship's in the details. Learn from your mistakes, move forward, and win out. You can still get, because the champ is after the playoffs. You still got to win the next district game. Week after
And listen,
week can get better. You block, it's okay.
Make the best play, not the big play. Just make the best play. Because, man, I think that really hurt us a lot. I think we could at least put up another 7 if we wasn't looking for that home run to just get a quick 7 on the board, And I don't know whether I should be, is that more directed towards players or coaching? I really felt like at some point I could see the frustration in everybody and how Tyler Jones kind of got, especially when They hiked him the ball, and did he slip or something? He slipped and his knee hit the ground or something like that, and he just kind of, you could tell he was kind of frustrated, and I said, man, they doing to him what we did to Athens. You know, when we did, because that Athens quarterback wasn't bad. We just took him out of his game.
Well, we talked about the start. You know, if we could have drawn up the Athens game, you know, every coach on the Chapel sideline could have drawn out, okay, this is how the first half is going to go. There's probably not a one of them that was going to draw up the way the first half went last week.
Yeah.
Or week before last. Now, you just flip that around, you draw up the worst start possibly you could have had, and I don't know that they'd have said Lindale's going to score. They're going to fake and go for two, get the 2-point conversion, and then Tyler Jones is going to throw it backwards into the end zone and give them 10 points, and they'll have to kick the ball back to Lindale. I mean,
yeah,
I know it's not as drastic, but it was a big start because you take that 10 points off the board. Now you're talking about in the second half, Chapel Hill has a chance to actually get back in the game.
It would have been we would have at one point it was what that would have been 12-7.
Yeah.
I
mean, it would the game is it's a total
man, and I'm
game.
telling you, man, like it's such a mental game at times, man. It's such a chess game sometimes, man, because I'm telling you, like when you up and like Corey always says, when Uncle Mo is visiting, you know, everything's going right. You feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like everything feels perfect. But when it ain't going right, when it ain't going good, and you get in your head and you start doubting, and you just, especially when you get that thought, I don't want to be here no more, you know, and that happens to a lot of players, man, when you get down. And
let Uncle Mo feel comfortable as long as he wants. If Uncle Mo
yeah,
wants a pizza
and that's when you
and
gotta
a 6-pack, get Uncle Mo.
that's it. But in those moments, that's when you, to get out of those kind of ruts, that's when you really have to dig in and claw and climb your way out of that hole. You know, that's the only way mentally to get out of those moments. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you're gonna have some guys on your team that's gonna be some Debbie Downers. They ain't here for it. That's how some people are. That's in life in general. Hey, man. But you know, like I think we got a pretty positive group, and we got a great coach. You know, I feel like we should be able to coach ourselves out of those moments. Again, and I think that's something we should take from this Lindale game too, is that, you know, we just gotta get out of our heads, because I think if we'd have done that, we could have put up a couple of more points.
Yeah, and on that note, let's move on. Like Corey said, let's move on to next week. Let's forget about this bad game that we had this past week. And let's move on to this week's game and talk about Palestine revenge game. Corey, another one of those games that we circled on the calendar, so you know they've got to be remembering that tail whipping that we took from Palestine last year unexpectedly. I remember it well because I was on the road in Palestine doing that game for Texan Live, and that first game that I actually had, they didn't send anybody to do the commentary. I was doing the color and just producing the show, and all of a sudden nobody was there. So I just started talking, and things kind of went from there. And now we're sitting here doing the show. So I was just in awe of Palestine, and it really came down to our defense just couldn't stop up the middle. There was another one of those games where the running back just ran all over us. I don't know how many yards the Palestine back had, but he had a lot. And so I feel like there shouldn't be a need to remind us how badly that score was last year. Just tape that numbers on the locker and say, okay, must win, and take care of business.
I would
Jared,
use
you
a
got
different approach.
You don't like the revenge factor here?
No. I would like the revenge factor, but use a different approach. If you are who you say you are, you would win this football game. If you think you're a state champion, if you think you were number 2 and the number 3 in the state, you'll come back and win this game. I challenge my team. That's what I do. Forget the revenge. I challenge my team. Because the revenge game, now they're feeling a little down about themselves. I'm challenging them a little bit. Hey, if you are who you say you are, come out here and show me. Defend, play. Let's show everything that you didn't do last week against Lindale, against Palestine. Sure this game up and come out and play well. You already know what the score is last year. I don't have to bring that up. But you already know what happened
Yeah,
last year you played. Come out and do everything you didn't do against Lindale. Punish them for it. Don't let them score a single point. Let it be 70-0. Let them feel the brunt of what should have happened in Lindale to Palestine.
yeah. Jared, you got some stats, some stuff we might hear on the pregame show. A little good info for this Palestine matchup.
Now, games like this honestly, I don't want to sound like every coaching cliche you've probably ever heard in your entire life, but this might be the biggest game of the year so far. This is, in my opinion, this is definitely bigger than the Lindale game. Lindale, of course, we knew going in there's going to be a tough game. Of course, not even just playing Lindale, but playing Lindale at their home field. Of course, it's going to be a difficult game. But looking at this Palestine team, if you look at their wins and losses so far this season, their losses aren't against slouch teams. They lost 45-16 against Van. As we've seen, Van is a solid team, one of the best Van teams we've seen in a while. Rusk, they're always going to be great. They lost 21-18. They lost to Kilgore. I don't even think we need to speak on how good Kilgore is. They're a top-ranked team. And Maybank with that with their wishbone offense is always unique to play against because you never really see that in high school anymore. But they lost 33-30. So every game that they've lost has been against competitive teams. Now, seeing how they match up against us is going to be interesting because, as we talked about earlier, they're pretty much going to match up with us athlete to athlete. But you have that 0-2 factor, and anybody that knows how difficult this district is knows that if you go down 0-2, you pretty much have to win out to even be in the district conversation. So they're going to go into this game thinking, okay, this is pretty much our district championship. We have to win this game to stay alive. It's sink or swim. So this could either be a chance for Chapel to redeem themselves, or it could be a trap game. Now, statistic-wise, if you look, we pretty much blow them out of the water in almost everything. Of course, as I stated earlier, they lost to Maybank in their previous game. They're 0-2, 2-4 overall. Their yards per game, we beat them in yards per game. Chapel Hill averages 473 yards a game to Palestine's 371. Points per game, we almost double them up. Chapel Hill averages 44 points a game, and Palestine averages 25. And two things that are interesting, you're going to see this in the pregame as well. Points for and points against. That's something we don't really talk about in high school, but I think it's an interesting number. Points for, Chapel Hill has 263, and points for Palestine, it's 152. Now, they haven't had as much of a high-powered offense, but at the same time, you could accredit that to going against some of the best teams in East Texas, some of the best teams in our area. Now, Chapel Hill has a chance to either go out here and dominate like we believe they should, like we know they should, or this could be another Lindale episode. And I honestly hope that, and I almost know that Coach Reardon and the guys are going to get the Bulldogs back in the win column. So I expect this to be, as you said, as we talked about earlier, this should be a smack in the mouth game. We should beat these cats 70-0. This should be a game where we come out and unleash our wrath like we should have done last week.
Nice. I like the stats. Thank you, Jared, for that. Guys, I agree. I think that this is if there's a must-win game that we've had so far, I believe this would be it. Again, I agree with what Jared said. Lindale's going to be a tough one. If we lose that one, okay, we knew Lindale was going to be good, and something that proves that. I don't know if y'all took a look at Dave Campbell's top 10 this week. Kaufman has now moved into the top 10 at 6-0,
right?
Which is a team that beat Lindale earlier in the year, which they also won the state 7-on-7, beat us out, I think, in the quarterfinals or something. Also, so they're now proven to be a good team. So that just proves that Lindale's played a tough schedule, which we already knew, but now it's coming to fruition. So I think the Lindale one, okay, we can afford to lose that one, but now Palestine has lost to Maybank, which Maybank was picked 7th in the district. Okay, so Maybank is now moving themselves up into conversation for that spot. We don't want to get in the middle of this. We want to stay in the top tier with Lindale and Kilgore. So we've got to take care of everybody else below and then try to beat Kilgore. We have them in Kilgore. It's going to be tough, but try to beat Kilgore. So we want to keep ourselves out of that fourth spot mix match where you've got point spread and who beat who and all that. We don't want to get in the middle of that. That's the last thing you want to have happen. So take care of business against the rest of the teams. This is one of them. I still like the revenge factor. I think Chapel Hill is going to be – I think they're going to be a different team this week. I think they're going to take it to Palestine and beat them pretty handily this week. Y'all got any thoughts on it? Vince, Corey?
I mean, we gotta beat them. We gotta beat them. Like I said, don't sleep on Palestine. Yeah, don't sleep on them. Come out and handle business.
Like I said before, I said it last week. You know, it's a business trip. You know, it's a business trip. I'm in sales, so some sales you're gonna be able to close, some sales you're not. But hey, for the no's that you didn't have, come with a different strategy. Hey, I gotta sell to them a little bit differently. So come with a different strategy. Go to Palestine, care business, and come home. Now, don't no penalties, less penalties, more focus, attention to detail, stops on the defensive end. You know, win the battle of the trenches, and that's all you gotta do. I don't care if you score 50 points. Hey, I'm already 35-21. Palestine they're not gonna give up anything. So you got to win the battle in trenches, but I'll bounce back. I think we'll get a 35-21 victory. That's what I'm picking.
All right. Like that, Corey. Speaking of that, guys, it's time to get your picks in. Get your picks in the chat so we can get you down. So far, we were still trying to get somebody to beat us. It was close this week. We were right for the picking this week. Somebody could have beat us and got on air, but just couldn't quite get ahead. So remember, if you'd like to join us on air one week, see if you can beat us. All right, so
I'm not losing this week, but
hey, I thought that too last week, and then it was a big tie between a bunch of us. All right, here we go. First pick in from the chat. Blevins, Chris. Speak of that, I hadn't seen Christian tonight. Where's Christian at, Chris? Did you put him to bed early? I hadn't seen him. He's usually on here. I don't know if he's just hurt after last week's game. He just didn't want to talk about it.
I'm thinking it was.
He had a couple of bad. He had a couple of bad.
IPCU, right?
Yeah, he did. He that's a tough one. So Chris has got. Oh, he's tired from football practice. They must be putting him to work this week. No, they're not. They ain't playing easy on him this week. All right, so he's got 42-21. I'm gonna do, and I just feel like that we're gonna come out with it on a different level this week. So I'm gonna say 42-14. Let's see. He went to sleep early, he said. Worked them tough today. Well, they needed to be worked tough today. That's good. Hey, tell him to get back on here later to make his picks if he wants to, Chris. We'll get him added in. Anybody else out there with us tonight want to make your picks? Just put them in the chat. Again, this is just for fun. We just want to try to see how we can do. We'll make this game, and then we'll pick 7 other ones and see how they do. Jared, you got a score prediction? I know you said 70-0, but I don't know if you're literally going to pick that.
Oh, no.
I was going to write that down. That's a good way to start.
Give me 21-3, Chapel Hill.
21-3, low scoring. I bet Vince isn't going to pick over 50 again.
No, he better not.
Look at it.
Don't put
I
that
wasn't
on
going to mention it. I was not going to mention it.
Don't put that on me.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Okay, he's going to let him know.
Put that on me.
We got Casey Joe. Hey, Casey Joe, how are you doing this week?
Yeah.
56-14.
I'm gonna say 52-21.
Oh, you still went over 50 again. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anybody else watching that makes their picks? We got lots of y'all on, so make sure you get your picks in. If you get
Just
behind, then
don't
we
pick
can make
anything
it up.
against Texas.
Well, hey, go ahead.
We're not
That's
doing
automatic loss. Automatic loss of the pick against Texas, right?
we're not doing. Yeah, we're not doing the OU over Texas thing in this chat. We're not doing it.
All right, so let's move on to the next game, and we'll just do just straight picks in these. We won't do a score. So let's see. We got let's see what we got. Lindale at Henderson. Lindale going to Taj Mahal in Henderson. If you've never been to that field, it's incredible. Their press box looks like a
It's like if you put a
or
hotel on
something.
top of a grandstand.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. So that'll be the first one we're going to go with. I mean, after what I saw this past week, I can't pick against Lindale. I think Lindale takes care of Henderson fairly easily.
So you picking Lindale? Okay.
I'm
picking
Lindale,
Henderson.
yes.
I'm picking Lindale.
I'm picking Henderson.
Jared, what you
Give me
got?
the Lions. I like the Lions in this game.
All right, so 2 Henderson, 2 Lindale. That Henderson feels great. Yeah, it definitely is. Casey Joe's got Henderson, and Chris has Lindale. Man, where's Hector? Hector must have went to bed. Who else is not here tonight? We know Christian's already in bed.
Hector gave me a shout out.
Yeah, he got on and left. Hector, if you get on and watch later, put in your picks. Drew, put in your picks. I still hadn't seen all of them from last
so they
week.
can count.
I call it. Yeah. All right, so we will move on to the next one. It's going to be Kilgore at Maybank.
Kilgore.
Number 8, Kilgore. They are now ranked in the 4A Division I rankings. They moved up. Didn't play last week, but moved up 2 spots. We helped them. You're welcome, Kilgore. I just think Kilgore's in the top class of our district. I'm going to pick them over Maybank, even on the road. Thoughts, guys?
Like, something's telling me Maybank. Something's telling me Maybank. Something's telling me Maybank. Something's telling me Maybank. This district's gonna get muddy after a while. Something's telling me Maybank.
Chris is also gonna say Maybank. So you got Casey Joe with Kilgore, Chris with Maybank. Vince?
Maybank.
All right. Jared?
I gotta go with the safe pick here. I gotta go with Kilgore. Bring the state for
a
reason.
Kilgore for sure. Okay.
Derry K.
All right, so we got the district picks in. Let's look around and see if we can find anything else that's worth picking. Let's see. Got some good ones around the area. What about West Rusk at ARP? West Rusk at ARP. Okay, West Rusk is ranked number 5 in the state. ARP has played some tough teams this year. I mean, you look at their schedule, and I was just kind of talking to my aunt about it. Shout out to Brenda, because I admitted, I was like, man, I picked Troop last week, and I said totally eat my words. So ARP just spanked them. They played some tough teams this year. Tenahall, which is always a good football school, and they played Wascom as well, which they're ranked number 7 at the state. So we lost Corey. Corey, you ran off.
Oh, it's periodically.
Yeah.
I'm here.
What I was saying was I kind of talked to my aunt about the games, and ours played a couple of good teams, and it kind of made their schedule. I know they've replaced a lot of coaches. I think they got a lot of the staff from Henderson, and so they've got the same head coach, but they've got a lot of new assistants on board. I know Coach Schminke is in ARP now. Shout out to Schminke. And so I think this game may be closer than expected. If I pick against ARP 2 weeks in a row and get B, I might not. I might not be welcomed in the family. But I think I don't know. Something tells me this could be a Tiger upset. I'm gonna go with ARP at home.
ARP.
You know me. I'm not big on the upset, but I something about how they beat Troop last week impresses me, and for them to be at home in front of their own crowd, I'm gonna go with ARP.
I'm gonna go
I
West
mean,
Rusk.
I know why you picking art, but it's okay. We'll hold it down for you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if I lose, I lose, but they burned me last week. West Rusk for Chris and for Casey Joe. It's one of those picks that, you know, they played well last week. I haven't seen West Rusk play. I know they're a good team, obviously, if they're ranked number 5 in the state. So I think if it was the ARP teams of past, I would definitely have picked West Rusk. But the new coaching staff, they make adjustments a little bit better. They don't run the same play over and over and over. I'm just going to go with ARP. Everybody else, am I the only ARP pick?
What did Jared pick?
Jared, Jared, we lost Jared. He's got his internet. We lost him. We'll get his pick when he gets back here.
All right.
We want to. Let's see. That's that 4.
Yeah, that's including the Chapel Hill game is 4.
So we need 3 more, and then we're going to do our college special pick. So we need 3 more.
What about
there's
Pine
Jared.
Tree
He's
and
coming back here. Pine Tree and something. No, not Longview.
Yeah,
Pine Tree's playing. Pine Tree plays somebody else. They play at Jacksonville in the Tomato Bowl.
Can you guys hear me?
Pine Tree
Yeah, we can hear you, Jared. We need your West Rusk and ARP pick.
Give me the West Rusk Raiders.
Okay, he's going West Rusk as well. Corey, I've got Pine Tree at Jacksonville.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good matchup.
Okay. All right. We got Pine Tree, which is, they knocked off. Was that Kilgore they knocked off earlier in the season, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they beat Kilgore at Kilgore. They beat Nacogdoches last week. Playing pretty solid. They're going to come to the Tomato Bowl and host Jacksonville, or Jacksonville's going to host Pine Tree. So, and they also almost beat Lindale. So, Pine Tree's had some good quality wins and some close losses. I'm going to take. I hate to do this, but I'm going to take Pine Tree, I believe.
Pine Tree, okay.
And Casey Joe takes Pine Tree as well.
I'm taking Pine Tree too.
I'll take Pine Tree.
All right. Jared, you taking Pine Tree for the sweep?
Give me Jacksonville at home.
Jacksonville at home. All right. And Chris, do you have your pick? I've got Casey Joe as Pine Tree. We just need Chris's pick. I think the other two, well, how about we go with the 2 Tyler teams? We hadn't picked any of their games this season. Let's go number 14, Rockwall at Tyler Legacy. No, Legacy's got that pair of running backs that are they going to Tech in Texas. That's, I mean, pretty stout. Probably, I can't remember. Yeah, I like that core. Probably the best back duo I can remember Lee having in a long time.
That backfield
overall.
pretty
Yeah.
for sure.
Now, Rockwall is ranked number 14 in Class 6A. So should be a good game. Any thoughts on this pick?
I'm going with Rockwall. Rockwall knocked off. I can't remember who they played. It was a undefeated. I want to say they beat somebody good this couple of weeks, but Rockwall's my pick.
Let's see, Rockwall. Take a look at that Rockwall schedule. Rockwall beat Rockwall Heath. Oh, and actually, Rockwall Heath beat Rockwall 79-71. That'd have been a fun one to go to. Rockwall they beat Lake Travis. Lake Travis is who you're talking about, Corey.
That's what.
They beat Lake Travis by 24 points in week 3. What'd you say, Jared?
Talking about that Rockwell score. Are you sure that's football or was that a basketball game?
Yeah, that would have been a good basketball game, and it was a football score. Almost looks like a basketball score. They're putting up a lot of points. 42, 75, 59, 31 to Highland Park, which is ranked 3 that they lost to. 71, 25. And they're putting up some big numbers. So, I mean, it's hard to pick against Rockwall in this game. I think I'm going to take Rockwall as well.
Rockwall.
Watched Legacy throughout the season with KTVB, and I've seen them at their highest points at their lowest points. Those 2 running backs, they're something like we've rarely seen, not even just in East Texas, but in the state of Texas in general. Having 2 backs that can give you 200 yards on the ground at any given game. The Legacy coaching staff has to feel absolutely blessed to have that many weapons on offense at their disposal. And we haven't even got to the receivers yet. They have a quarterback. He's tall. He's burly. He's muscular. He's fast. He can zip the ball. One of the best quarterbacks in the district. And for that reason, I'm taking Legacy. I like the Red Raiders in this one.
All right. It's good info there, Jared. Good pick. I like that pick. I really don't know, besides the 2 running backs, I don't know enough about Legacy to pick them over Rockwall. If it was a little more of a close matchup, then I might lean that way. But, I haven't been focusing on the Bulldogs. I haven't really got to cover it. The only thing I've seen about Lee is for the running back duo, and they're getting most of the publicity around the area. But I don't make that's a good pick. I think we lost Chris. He's missed our last couple of picks. We got Casey Joe at Rockwall as well. All right, so we'll go with Tyler High they're at West Mesquite.
I'm going Tyler High. They're on the roll right now.
Vince, you gonna go with Tyler High?
My gut tells me no. Absolutely not. For one reason only. I'm not going with Tyler High. I'm not going with Tyler High on this one. That's my pick, not Tyler High.
Not Tyler High. Whoever else is playing?
Whoever else is playing.
That would be West Mesquite. Okay, well.
This is a tough one. This might be one of the toughest ones yet.
I think I'm going to go with Tyler High. Just looking at the schedule that West Mesquite's played, I don't see much competition that they've played. The one game they played against a ranked opponent was Longview, and they got doubled up pretty handily at home. versus Longview. So I'm gonna take the Tyler High Lions because I know they've played a tough schedule. I mean, they are obviously have Lee on the schedule. That's always a tough one, and all the teams around here are tough. So I'm gonna take them. And I think we got Casey Joe's pick. I think that's our 7th. So number 8 is the Red River Shootout.
You want to do that
Texas
one,
OU.
or you want to do
No,
that?
we got to do. We got to do that one.
Texas.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do that one. That's probably the biggest game of the weekend. It's sure not the Houston Smellions or whatever they are. What was that score this week's game, Vince? The Texans, they call them. What was that? All I saw was like a big number to 0 when I looked at the score. Right? Did they ever
It was
score?
40-0.
Man, we don't have a starting quarterback.
You got him.
Or
It's
receiver.
Deshaun Watson.
Or an
He just got in
offensive line.
trouble.
Or
No,
head coach.
nah.
Or defense.
He's bargaining chip. Yeah,
He's a
that's all he
bargaining chip for
is.
somebody's attorney.
That's all I'm going to say on my pick. That's all I got to say.
You know, I mean, come on now.
All right, so
I'm not
Texas
picking
all the
nothing.
way,
Against them.
except, well, yeah, because Casey Joe's got Texas also.
Boomer Silver.
All right, Jared, you're the only one left.
Oklahoma.
You got a 50% chance of picking this wrong.
Did you just say something, a Homa?
There's the wrong answer to
Boomer
this.
Silver.
Boomer, Boo Sooners? Yeah, I like Boo Sooners. Yeah, it's a good one. Sounds like Jared's.
Go the University of Texas in this game. Horns
Can I
down.
mute? Can I
And I
mute?
will stand by.
Can I mute Jared? Oh yeah, I can. Jared, you're getting muted for
Is he-
that one. No.
Is this Texas slander?
He is.
Oh,
It's Texas
Indeed it
slander.
is. I
Jared.
hate it.
The Texas slander gets you muted on this show, Jared. You're gonna have to calm that down. You're outnumbered.
So this is a rule, okay? You can go with any
Texas will lose by
Texas school.
3.
Oh. see, this has got to be a rule. You can be a TCU fan against a Texas fan. That's fine.
You could
Anybody
be an A&M
in
fan.
Texas school against
But if you
OU
choose
count.
Oklahoma over Texas, that's a no-no. That's a no-no.
he in violation.
First day
He
on
in violation.
the rules. I'm going to Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's
He in violation. And he's sticking to it. You know, I respect that. I respect him sticking to it. I'm sticking to that. That's okay. Brett, are you sure this is a weird decision?
oh yeah,
It's already
it
freaking
just adds a little something, and we just need
Right.
somebody to be a little bit on the
Right.
other side of the coin, I guess. I mean, you know, we got too many
OU?
people on that probably. Well, you know,
I give him TCU. But OU?
Yeah, he had a TCU thing. But that OU, no. Nah.
well, it's just
I'm-
in our opinion, it's just gonna get him. It's just one loss extra for Jared and Aaron. You know,
We shall
That's
see.
a bad loss.
We shall see.
That's horrible.
well, y'all got
That's against the rule.
any other thoughts or comments as we wrap up here tonight?
By the way, shout out to the Simpson Bears. Please give them a little bit of love.
To who?
The Simpson Bears out of Shelby County. These dudes are. It is a city that's so small. If you go through going 70 miles an hour and blink, you'll probably miss it. But I think they were number 1 in 2A, Division 1, I want to say. They played. They couldn't find the game for, I think, back-to-back weeks, and they had to play a team out of Arkansas. They were the number 3 team in Arkansas, and beat them 57-40, I want to say. So shout out to the Simpson Bears. We got a little bit of family.
Timpson.
So,
Okay,
gotta show
you said
them a lot.
Timpson.
Timpson.
Yeah,
right.
we're having a little bit of trouble with your audio there, Jared, but we heard Timpson. So
I heard
Yeah.
Timpson. Yeah.
shout out to Timpson.
Simpson Bears.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
a shout out I wanted to have on here.
we'd like to also let everybody know we're still looking for a sponsor for our new
Quarterback.
pre-show and our wrap-up show here. So if you're interested in being our sponsor for this show, reach out to us. Let us know. We'd love to have you. We'll put your logo on, give you a commercial if you'd like one. We'll talk you up real good. Um, we'd like to thank all our sponsors that sponsor our network. We'll be looking for some more for basketball. So you know anybody that will a small business or anyone out there that's trying to grow their business or just wants to sponsor us to help us out, send them our way. Let them know about this show. I think at one point tonight we got our highest viewing of the year. I think at one point it got up to about 15 viewers. So I think it stayed around 10 to 12 most of the time. I know it kind of gets late here towards the end, but we like to thank everybody for tuning in and checking us out. Again, our broadcast this week will be on TexanLive.com. We'll be on air at 7:30 for that kickoff. We'll also have the pre-show that Jared mentioned earlier. We'll be streaming that live on all our platforms here, YouTube, Facebook, and such, on the Bulldog Sports Network. We got basketball season coming up. Corey and I are already marking our schedule. Jared, we've been starting to mark our games. I've got the schedule here. I know this is going to be interesting. It's not as hard for me to go to the games, but I know that first game that you go to, I'm just going to tell you from experience, it's going to be hard sitting over on the other side of the court, not being out there. So it's going to be interesting and fun to get Jared's perspective. He's going to join us a little bit this season and, give just a little bit of perspective inside of the huddle, inside of what they do in practice and things that makes his team tick, because he knows all these guys. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Jared, you got any words that you want to talk about for basketball season coming up?
Definitely, there's going to be one to watch. If you thought last year was a roller coaster, this is going to be one that we think you should look out for. We got a young team, of course, guys that have great chemistry together. They pretty much always have played, whether it be track, football, basketball. So expect the chemistry to be there early. So expect this team to click even earlier. So of course, high expectations. I know Coach Johnson, how we is with his teams. He runs a very tight ship. But as you've seen in the past two seasons, at least, results. So I can't wait to see what he can do with this team.
Yeah, it was exciting. I'm ready. As much as I love football, and I love it, don't get me wrong, high school football is nothing like it, but basketball season is where it gets really fun. That's kind of where we kicked off this whole network last season. Corey and I, we got to go and watch basketball, and it was a lot of fun. And so we hope everybody will tune in and join us as well. We've got some new things going, of course, with the pre-shows and such. We're going to try to make things fun. Maybe try to get our shows and games on more platforms than ever before. So we're able to get that out there. Last year, we were mainly just on YouTube for most of the year. And this year, we're looking to expand that. We now have got our Facebook page. So make sure you go and like our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be on Twitch and Twitter. So we'll be on all platforms. We'll be on several different places on Facebook. So there's no excuse not to catch us, whether you're in your car, at work, at home on TV. You should be able to tune in and watch some good Bulldog basketball this season. Anybody else got any final thoughts before we sign off?
Oh yeah,
Corey, Vince?
oh yeah. I do want to say this. It is National Coaches Day. So shout out to all the coaches. I have a billion names to name off, just off a bit, but I'm not gonna name them off. They already know what they are. Say shout out to Coach Jay, Chapel Hill things, started with an opportunity, do basketball. Coach Johnson, Coach Bowles, all of the coaches out there, man. Coach Marquis, Coach Jeff Moore, Coach Jason Hooten, Coach, I can't think his name right now. coach of ULM. Shout out to all y'all, man. Appreciate the opportunity y'all gave me, and you were a blessing in my life. I appreciate it. So national coaches, that shout out to y'all, man.
You want to shout out to your y'all's podcast as well?
I was what?
Yeah,
It was
go ahead and.
national coaches
Well,
day.
no, no,
I mean, I
no,
was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
okay. Well, I was just going to remind you. Go ahead and Vince and Corey have another podcast that they do another night of the week. So you want to give that a shout?
Well, absolutely. I was gonna wait till the
So,
end, but hey, check us. That's So Dope podcast. I am working on some things we can actually get on the Bulldog Sports Network. I didn't tell Brett, but I am thinking of something funny to put on there. Not funny, but in our That's So Dope way. So
Hey, that sounds good. We'll work something out. Vince, you got anything?
not really, man. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. I'm ready. Friday night,
Friday night, 7:30.
7:30. I'm gonna be there.
Hopefully everyone can get to the game. If not, remember, we'll be on TexanLive.com. I'll be sending out a link for the broadcast on our pages, and make sure you share this link with everyone. The wrap-up show. Let them know, hey, it's a must tune in on Wednesday nights. We've added some young blood to the mix here. Jared's going to try to join us. Jared, we got to work on your internet connection, man, because I know there's some things we're missing. It's kind of cutting in and out. So maybe we can try to work on the way to get you some internet, because that's tough. I mean, I had trouble hearing you a while ago, and I know everybody wants to hear what you have to say. So we'll see if we can work on that for Jared, because we enjoyed having him on. I appreciate you joining us tonight. Anything got final thoughts, Jared?
Again, it's just a pleasure for you guys to open up your home, I guess you could say, to me, to some new blood. I really appreciate the opportunity. I look forward to doing some great things with you guys. I have fun.
Yeah,
even though my internet might not have as much fun. I really enjoyed you guys. Look forward to it.
We enjoyed it.
Broadcast and wrap up
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. Well, for Vincent Johnson, Corey Marshall, and Jared Jones, I'm Brett Swinney. Thanks for watching tonight's Week 6 wrap-up show right here on the Bulldog Sports Network. Hope everyone has a good evening. We'll catch you next time right here.